All right, let's talk about something that every single dedicated English learner runs into. How do you really know if you're actually getting any better?
I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're putting in the hours, right? You're on the apps, you're studying the grammar, you're doing all the right things. But then you get into a real conversation, maybe a job interview, and nothing. You just freeze up. It's that incredibly frustrating gap between what you know in your head and what you can actually do when it counts.
Well, that feeling, it actually has a name. It's called the learning plateau, and it's all about that disconnect, that gap between all the effort you're pouring in and what you can actually do out there in the real world. And here's the thing you have to remember. This isn't you failing. Not at all. It's a super common part of the journey. The really good news, you can totally break through it. It just takes a little shift in how you think and, well, some new tools in your toolkit. And this is the big turning point. The issue isn't your motivation. It's not that you're not working hard enough. The real problem is how you're measuring everything. It's time we move from just guessing to actually knowing where you stand. So, think about self-tracking like it's your personal compass. Seriously, it gives you real, objective proof that you're growing. It's an amazing motivator, it shines a spotlight on exactly where you're struggling, and it lets you tweak your strategy. It takes that vague, stuck feeling and turns it into solid data you can actually use.
And listen, this isn't just a nice idea. It's backed by solid research. Studies have shown that learners who actually self-assess, who track their own progress, improve somewhere between 20 to 30% faster. I mean, wow, that is a huge advantage, right?
Okay, so if we're going to measure progress, we first have to agree on what progress actually looks like. It's all about that shift from just working hard to working smart.
And here's the absolute key. Real progress isn't about getting a high score on some grammar quiz. It's about what you can do. It's about your functional ability. Can you actually follow along with a fast-paced documentary? Can you fire off a professional email that people understand and reply to quickly? That's real progress.
And a great way to track this kind of functional skill is by using the good old SMART framework. You see, a goal like get better at vocabulary is, well, it's just a wish, isn't it? But a goal like, I'm going to learn 20 new nouns for my specific industry this week, and I'm going to use them in at least 3 emails. Now that is specific, measurable, and something you can actually track.
But before you do anything else, you need to know where you're starting from. You need a baseline. So I want you to take a moment today, be brutally honest with yourself. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you right now with your listening, speaking, reading, and writing? That number, whatever it is, that's your starting line.
All right, so we've got the theory down. Now for the fun part. Let's dive into some really powerful, real-world examples of how to actually put all of this into practice.
Okay, let's take Sarah. Her job involved these really high-stakes negotiations, all in English. Now, instead of tracking something vague like vocabulary, she got specific. She tracked what she called friction points, basically how many times she had to stop and ask for clarification in a 1-hour meeting. When she started, it was 15 times an hour. But after just 6 months of focused practice, she got it down to only 2. That's not just a number on a chart, that's a career-changing improvement.
Or how about Ahmed? He had that classic struggle with articles in his writing. A versus the. So he made this simple little error log, and he didn't just correct his mistakes. He wrote down the type of error, the specific grammar rule he broke, and what his strategy was to fix it next time. He basically turned this really annoying, persistent problem into something he could systematically solve. And the result of this? Get this. Just by improving his clarity with that one little tracking method, Ahmed's response rate to his professional emails shot up from a really frustrating 20% all the way to 60%. That is the power of measuring what matters.
I love this next one. A learner used the Harry Potter series as their progress tracker. It's genius. They just counted how many words they didn't know in each chapter. In the first book, it was around 50 words per chapter. By the time they got to the final book, it was down to just 10. How motivating is that? It's such a clear, simple way to see your vocabulary explode. And look, there are just so many ways you can do this. You could try transcribing a short audio clip and aim for, say, 95% accuracy. Or record yourself speaking for 5 minutes every week and literally count how many times you say or ah. You can even use AI pronunciation tools to score specific sounds. The whole point is to take something invisible, like progress, and make it visible.
Okay, now as you get started on this, it's really important to know about a few common traps. things that can really kill your motivation. So let's talk about them so you know exactly how to sidestep them.
First up, don't get stuck only using apps. They're a fantastic tool, but you have to take what you're learning and actually use it in the real world. Second, when you hit that plateau, and trust me, you will, don't panic and don't give up. Keep tracking. A breakthrough is usually right around the corner. And finally, and this is a big one, stop comparing yourself to other learners. Your journey is your own.
And this might be the most important piece of advice of all. When your tracking shows that you've hit a goal, you have to celebrate it. Seriously, did you finish your first book in English? Treat yourself. Acknowledging those small wins is the fuel that keeps you going for the long haul. It's how you avoid burnout.
So I want you to remember this. The only person you should be trying to beat is the person you were yesterday. That's it. Forget everyone else. Your only goal is to be a little bit better, a little more confident in English than you were last week or last month.
We've gone through a lot here, from tracking those friction points to building an error log. So I'll leave you with this question. What's the one new thing, the one new metric that you are going to start tracking tomorrow to really take control of your English learning journey?